Counselor? There's a raccoon stuck in the vending machine.
That's so annoying. I wanted a snack.
Welcome to Trail Mix.
Our mini episodes from Camp Counselors podcast.
Each week, the stories come from you, our Camp Shady Birch campers.
We want to hear your juicy gossip,
Top secret confessions,
embarrassing and scary stories.
and sprinkle in our sage counselor advice.
Trail Mix is for the campers.
And God, do we love you. Hey,
Hey,
happy
happy
campers.
campers.
Welcome back to Trail Mix.
This is our mini episode where we read listener submitted stories.
I like that you're wearing a sweater that says pickle slut on it.
Thank you.
You got that in Salem.
We did. Oh my God, wait. There was a camper checked me out.
Oh my God, it was a camper.
Yeah.
I told you that sweatshirt.
So this was, I just completely spit on it. Hopefully the camera didn't pick that up. I could have got away with it and just not said anything. But
Yeah, you
here
definitely
we
could've.
are. This was one of the things where it was on a hanger and it was kind of out of normal place where I put hoodies. Totally forgot I had it. I bought this in October. Never wore it.
It looks like super baggy and like comfortable in the same way.
Oh, this is so comfortable. I could sleep in this for sure. This is like, she's loose.
Yeah, she's loosey goosey. It looks comfortable. I like that.
Did you ever like put like a can under this when you were a kid in a sweatshirt and go like this and like swing it around and like spin it?
No, what kind of
Okay.
can would you put there?
A soda can.
That might have just been a Carson creation.
Okay, we're gonna edit that out for sure.
Anyways, welcome back to the show, campers. We have a really well-rounded trail mix to really round out your February here.
Yeah.
It's the shortest month, but this episode might have the sweetest impact. I know. Sometimes I really surprise myself with the words I weave.
You're a word weaver. Always
I am.
have been.
No, because I want to start off the show on a little bit of an earnest note. Is that
Okay.
okay with you?
Yeah.
We had a really fantastic submission that struck a chord with me about grief. And I know we speak a lot about funniness and silliness, and that's what we'll always do in the show. But sometimes people send things into us that I think, you know what, like, as people who have a voice, we should be able to share like really interesting perspectives on things that could not just benefit us, which I think this definitely does, but could benefit people out there who are going through things. Because we do get so many emails about like, hey, this has been a really bright part in my week and I've been going through a lot. So thank you so much for putting on this show. So I couldn't get this email and not read it. So
Okay.
it's not really a part of like our 4-story structure. I've kind of broken it down because I want to talk about it. But this, we had originally had a camper write in around Christmas time, I believe, about having a family member pass, and they were talking about like, how do I like get in the Christmas spirit
Right, the holiday blues.
while dealing with grief? And we
Yeah.
gave feedback, and this person wrote in, they were like, hey, I'm a little behind on episodes. I just caught up on that trail mix, and I know that this is a little bit Christmassy, but I felt like I needed to tell how my family's been dealing with grief during the holiday season. And I thought, you know what, like, yeah, they're talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas in this, but like this can really be applied to really anyone dealing with the loss of someone in their life. And I was like, you know what, like, I want to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it.
Okay, that's great. Let's hear it.
So in their email, they said a few years back, they had a death in their family. And while it did not happen during the holidays, the death spurred some family drama that had effectively torn apart and forever changed relationships in my extended family that previously was incredibly close, like holidays together, multiple dinners a week together, vacation together, kind of close. So sometimes, especially when someone passes in your family, that's kind of the glue, the entire family structure can really kind of like,
I can relate 100%.
yeah, and I think a lot of people can. Like when that
Mhm.
pivotal person, like when my
Passes.
grandmother passed, it kind of like ruptured that side of my family. So in the wake of all this, my immediate family has made some changes to the holidays that will never replace the person we lost or erase the grief. But I think we're all ultimately like, it's for the better. After trial and error, we decided that the best thing to do was to create new traditions. We began traveling during Thanksgiving and spending it with our closest family friends, all renting a big house together while cooking our Thanksgiving favorites. So essentially, like, they're traveling instead of, not everybody has the luxury to be able to travel during like vacations or like holidays. But I love the idea of honoring the person that's passed with a new tradition, because it can almost feel like you're abandoning that previous idea, but it almost seems like, no, it's, we're turning a fresh page and we're not going to like live in that sad space. We're going to create something new in the memory of that person. You're rewriting history. So they said, those who are no longer with us would want us to find happiness during the holidays and all year long. Do it in whatever way feels right. Honor your grief, but if you don't vibe with Christmas, don't be afraid to give Christmas a new vibe, and definitely don't feel guilty for wanting a different vibe. That is like, that gave me chills. It's not, don't have the guilt of feeling like we're changing it. You know, it's like, no, because your life has changed and life needs to continue to change. But by allowing yourself to feel like you can change, it's a really great way to respect someone that's passed.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a really great way to put it. Honoring your grief.
They said, I don't know if this random, untimely and unasked for advice will ever to make it to air. Well, it did, but I just wanted to reach out to a fellow camper and join hands while we sing around the campfire. Christmas songs or not. Thank you, Zachariah and Jonathan, for making your campers always feel safe, silly, and loved. Signed, Finding Joy and Protecting Peace in Cabin 18.
I love that. That is so, hey, thank you for sending that in.
Yeah.
That is really nice.
I just couldn't read that and not share that because I think someone might need that. And I think I needed that. For a little bit. I think there's always this guilt with the way I look at holidays when I think about the people who I love the most who are no longer with us. But it's like, oh no, my holidays have shifted. But I think as long as you're continuing to honor that person in a new way, their memory stays alive. And then you also get to grow. I don't want to say move on, but grow from it, you know? Yeah.
Time keeps moving, things change. And I think that's at a poignant part where you are accepting the change of things while grieving, and things sometimes don't go as you think that they would go. I literally can relate to that 100%.
Yeah.
But that was put, it's so nice when you read something and it's like, okay, that's kind of how I was feeling about something. But me personally, I can't give that type of direct advice. Like when we actually had that camper and we were giving our advice for it.
I needed this for that camper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like we did the best that we could with our toolkit.
Yeah.
But this really just set it in the way that I needed to. And I definitely shortened a lot of it because it was really beautifully written. And I just think my big takeaway was not having the guilt with change and being able to flow with that change. I just thought it was beautiful. I know it's not your typical starter to a trail mix, but this is episode 23 and another 70 something episodes. We are allowed to flow with our episodes. So
this is when we always get defensive.
Well,
and everybody's like, that's fine, bye.
I know. I want to continue to be a place for people to come away from those kind of problems. And I think that's what we do here. It's we're really proud of the fact that we have this little corner of the internet where we can be silly and stupid and invent and be dumb.
It is literally escapism to the max. We've created escapism at a fictional camp and we're all just here doing our damn thing, having a good jolly time.
But sometimes it's good to ground yourself in something serious.
Yeah.
And support each other. So everybody grab hands metaphorically around the campfire.
Yeah.
We're going to do a little one to the left, a little one to the right. I actually did that completely backwards. And we're just going to really support each other.
It's giving Whoville.
It's giving community. It's giving camp. Should we talk about today's episode?
Let's talk about today's episode. What have you got on the docket?
I have a camper feeling feisty under anesthesia. I'm really excited about that. I've referenced it last episode by accident, but it's this episode.
I've got a friend gone completely Karen.
And I have a terrifying campground pool incident. Oh my God, I'm loving all my stories. They're so good.
And a silly story about 2 friends and a pig.
We have the best episode. It's going to be full rounded because these are really silly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it, campers.
This is a really big secret. Thank God we're on a body of water. This is Confession Canoe.
Welcome back to Confession Canoe, everybody. Grab your oar. The water is calm. The birds are chirping. And the tea is hot.
And a life vest, too. You might need it.
I do. I can't swim. Someone emailed in or DM'd me that said that their wife couldn't swim either. And that he was going to offer to pay for our swimming lessons together.
Where do they live?
Brooklyn. I didn't answer. Because I need to swim privately.
Yeah, I got it.
I know. Because then me and her are both flailing in the pool. We both can't flail together, camper. But it was a really sweet gesture.
We need a cuter way to wear a life vest.
I need people to stop making me feel bad about not being able to swim.
I'm not. Am I doing that right now?
No, I'm just being defensive as I usually am.
Okay, we're projecting. So why don't you go ahead?
Hey, counselors. You two always have me giggling and kicking my little feet. So I'll get into my confession/embarrassment, but also I don't really have any shame, so it's not too embarrassing. Oh my God. August 2023, I was in a car accident about 600 feet away from my house. That sucks. So close to the finish line.
How many blocks is that?
I would say about 2.
Yeah.
We're
It's a classic 2 block radius.
Jonathan and I collectively, that's the one thing we really have in common. We have a lot of things in common, but like that.
That is the one thing we have in common.
No,
Finish
I don't know
the
why I said that.
sentence.
No, but like we collectively, if you ask us how many feet something's in front of us, we like look at each other like,
We had the GPS on and it said in 1,000 feet, turn left. And had I not been looking at the GPS, I would have taken the next left. I was like, that next left right there at the light is clearly on a city block is clearly 1,000 feet. I look at the GPS and it's like 6 more blocks.
Yeah, 1,000 feet is a lot. That just sounds stupid. Let me keep going. And it was totaled. My absolute favorite car I ever owned. Well, I was driving alone and I knew he was going to hit me, the other driver. I didn't have time to stop, but I slammed on the brakes and the horn. The driver hit me and my steering wheel airbag deployed and it pushed my wrist back with such force it broke it.
Oh my God, because she was on the horn?
Well, sometimes like if you have an oncoming accident and you see it happening, your body's natural reaction is to tense up. So when you hit that impact, you're already like locked and loaded. So that's what's going to break your wrist. That's why it's crazy. But so many people have survived like
Drunk driving.
because their body's like,
Yeah, because the drivers survived.
And also it's like if you were like sleeping in the back of a car, like whatever, you
Yeah,
understand. So, but
right.
she was tense. So that's why it broke her wrist probably. She ended up needing surgery. So I'm in the operating room. Here we go. They're giving me the meds. I start getting tired, but still was like semi-alert. I hear the surgeon ask for a cover, and unprovoked, I said, "Oh, it's fine. I don't give a shit if my tits are out." Literally the last thing I remembered. When I woke up, I was trying to recall the last thing I said, and it came to me. I'm mildly horrified. Then I realized he was probably asking to cover my arm. I was getting wrist surgery, so there was no reason for my tits to even be out.
Wait, we're tits out?
No.
He's like, we're literally giving you wrist. We're operating on your wrist.
There was no way her tits were out on a wrist surgery. We need a doctor here. We need someone from the infirmary to step up, Camper, a Dr. MD Camper, and be like, no, we need you to confirm that tits don't need to be out for a wrist surgery. I don't care if my tits are out. He's like, okay, count back from 10 and stop. Like,
Oh my God, they make you do that when you go under.
I thought that was so funny. So she wrote that in, and then she also had she has 2 more little notes. It's like she was like wrote in 3 little stories, but they're all so great and they're short.
Okay.
Next one. Also, I have a friend that her first job was a hot air balloon runner. Did you guys even know this existed? She would accompany someone else in a truck following the balloon, and she would get out and run after the balloon to assist in the landing. And they often landed in people's yards, like we talked about on that episode. I think it's just accepting the fact that if you live near a hot air balloon attraction, it might land in your yard. And they would load up the balloon into the truck and drive the people back to the hot air balloon establishment. Which makes sense because like you probably don't land back where you fucking started.
No,
so there needs to be a runner.
You
And
go
that
where the
was
wind takes you.
Her friend's first job. That beats
As
mine.
a first job, that is fun. That is exciting. We know how we both feel about hot air balloons. It started coming up on my algorithm again rather recently.
I hate them.
And there's no need. I saw they were 2 sweet old ladies who had always joked about going like on a hot air balloon excursion, and they did. So I was like, okay, this is nice. This is fine. But then I looked at the basket they were in, and it was so small. It was so tight. It was cut into fourths. And I was like, these old, brittle women were in this for how many hours and then crash landed. I mean, they looked fine, but I was like,
Yeah, but we don't have x-rays. I don't know about pre-existing conditions. I don't know if they're fine.
Yeah,
I
they
need to get them on the horn now.
could have broke their wrist and had their tits out.
It's also funny. I can picture the girl running and being like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And then like missing it and letting it just like really crash. Like, okay, so where are these runners when I see them crash in the field? Are they trying to like park the car?
Yeah, people aren't wearing helmets. Like, what if it lands like in a cul-de-sac and then somebody falls out and hits their head really hard?
Well, typically they're not doing these hot air balloon rides near cul-de-sacs.
and then they forget who they are, but they're actually like an heiress to a giant hotel chain company. I'm just describing the Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie.
She's coming out with a new one. Did you hear about it?
No.
So it'll be timely for this episode. It's a St. Patrick's Day themed one. It's called like the Irish.
Luck of me.
No, it's literally something
Lucky
I would
me.
make up. It's called like the Irish twist.
Oh, she had Just My Luck. Wasn't that her?
Was it? Oh yeah, and she's like this in the cover.
I don't know. There was something with like a washing machine and suds. Or am I thinking of...
I don't know what you're thinking of.
I don't know what I'm thinking of, guys. I'm freaking out.
But Netflix, they have like a deal with her. So like she had that Christmas movie and now this is a Luck of the Irish movie. And I'm like, you know what? St. Patrick's Day, we're not getting enough movies. I'm referencing Luck of the Irish. When did that come out? Okay. We need more St. Patty's movies. And Lindsay Lohan's here to answer the call. She's stepping up to the plate. Batter, swing. I'm going to give you a pierogi. Are those Irish? I'm not sure.
Well, there's a potato.
Yes, the potato famine.
Well, we don't talk about her.
One more thing she wrote in.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Second, I'm from the town Reading, Pennsylvania, where the lanternfly started. Girl, what can you not connect with this podcast?
Classic Reading behavior.
But I love hearing you guys talk about Phoenixville. We love Phoenixville because I hang out there too. Actually, my surgery was in the Phoenixville hospital.
Oh my God, I've been there.
Which is funny because the Seagull episode from the last episode
was in your little hometown.
Isn't that hysterical how many campers are from our area?
The world is so big, but so terrifyingly small.
And it's definitely a PA thing that everything is 10 to 20 minutes away. But in our defense, it generally is accurate.
Yes, bitch.
Anyways, I hope you got a giggle from my story. Signed, Titillated in Cabin 10.
Not titillated.
It's okay. I don't care if my tits are out. He's like, this is a wrist surgery, ma'am. Stop. Like...
Are we qualified to be giving advice? No. Are we going to do it anyway? Absolutely. Welcome back to Dear Counselors. This is the part of the show where you write in with your queries and we try to give you the...
These two queers try to answer the queries. I'll pick it up where you left off.
Thank you.
Let me open this White Claw on mic. ASMR.
Oh.
Wait, that was giving commercial.
You know what? I hate commercials with that sound because I know they got to amp it up when it comes to liquids. But that's when I have, what is that sound thing? Mesothelioma. I said it in a couple episodes ago, where you can't hear sounds. Like you don't like when people are chewing, but I don't like it when people are opening a can and pouring it in a commercial for like Bud Light.
I wonder if that specific sound is a fear. Because I know mesothelioma is not what you're talking about. You're talking about the fear of this noise of chewing.
Well, I'm not scared of it. I'm not scared of anything, bitch. Let's get that straight.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, dear counselors, you guys write in things you need advice for, and we're going to do our darndest. So, okay, this is kind of a good one. I feel like we're going to have good advice. Let me not get ahead of myself. Help.
Girl, we're sad. First of all, we're sad.
My best friend is becoming a Karen.
Shut
what can I do?
up.
She recently turned 40 and the behavior has kicked up a notch. She's not afraid to confront people in public spaces, will openly record anyone in situations.
No, that's bad. That's really bad.
Even if they just slightly annoy her. And her complaints just seem over the top and 100% unnecessary. I can't describe it any other way than Karen behavior. I've known her for 10 years and the older she gets, the worse it gets. I don't want to lose her as a friend, but she can be so embarrassing to be around. Help, what do I do? Signed, no offense to anyone named Karen in Cabin 38.
I know. First of all, let's just send a shout out to our like faithful Karen.
Yeah, Karen Kilgariff.
Yeah, but like
semi-friend of the podcast.
Our Karen campers.
Yeah,
like,
we stand with you, we sit with you, we eat with you.
Yeah, like I do think you guys got the shit end of the stick with that. Like it is what it is. Like I never judge a woman named Karen, but I always will judge Karen behavior. What do you think what our camper should do? It's like, actually, she's stuck between a rock and a hard place right now because it's her friend, but like, I can't condone that behavior. The recording of random people when you get the minor inconvenience, like, if you pull an iPhone out, I'm gonna slap it out of your hand.
So what you're gonna do? You're gonna set up a little schedule for yourself. Every couple of days, you're gonna go out of your way to find a Karen-esque video on TikTok or Instagram, whatever you have, whatever social media platform of your choosing, and you're gonna send it to her. And you're gonna say, this kind of reminds me of you. And let her digest that. Let her sit on it.
Or maybe that's too on the nose. I think like that's a little, she's asking for like advice. And I think that might be a little combative, don't you think?
But you want to combat? Like, what is this?
Well, I have an idea.
Okay, let's hear your idea.
I want to piggyback your off your idea.
Okay.
I think you were on a good start. I think you went a little hot and heavy.
Okay.
I think before we get there, let's be a little bit more subtle. Let's send the Karen video. And specifically a thing that she's doing, right? So if she's pulling out, recording her phone of people, whatever, you find a video like that. And then you call out that behavior and say, oh my God, how embarrassing. Could you imagine being like this? Like, that's awful. Look at and then be like, read the comments. And then she'll be like, oh, wait, I do that. Look how people hate this. You know what I mean? That could be a little more subtle.
Not a bad idea. I was gonna say, or you can send that and just say OMG. But then the next one, let's cut to the point, because if she's gonna get older and continue to do this,
Can we
come on
nip it
now.
in the bud, you think?
They've been friends for 10 years, but you know what? People change sometimes. And I cannot be with somebody who's going to act like that and pull their phone out. Are you kidding me? That's beyond. That's like, for me, that's, if it happens frequent enough where this person's ranting in, don't you think like that's grounds for a conversation to be like, you're having Karen behavior?
Yeah, it's being it's an issue already. Yeah.
It is an issue. So like, you can send that and be subtle if you want to, but what it boils down to is, if she's truly like the Karen she's becoming, you might have to call it quits on her.
I know, and like Karenism kind of flirts with like microaggressions for the most part.
100%.
And once there's like, and I'm speaking about like personal experience with people like this. I'm no longer speaking about your friends. So like,
Yeah,
let's put that on the side burner for a minute. But like, once anyone I know has an inkling of some sort of like prejudice or like, I don't know, like racial bias or something like that, like once that starts to like pop its head, that's when I cut all ties, because I have no patience for any sort of person that's like gonna be like weird like that. It's like, okay, now that's some hate in your heart, and you can go to church and you can leave me out of it, because I'm not gonna be associated with people like that. So if it's getting really aggressive and it's like not good, it's okay, drop the friendship. But maybe if it's more like, okay, she's just embarrassing me publicly, start with some subtle messages. What a great question we've never gotten though.
If you're feeling like a little timid about confronting her about it, don't, because she clearly doesn't feel timid about doing anything, and just kind of like channel that Karen energy and send it right back to her. Hold the mirror up to her face and be like, this is you. Are we going to do something about it, or are we going to stop talking?
Especially if like the only other option is to end the friendship, like might as well go out in a bang. Like go out with your arms swinging and being like, hey, change or I leave, because if you don't, you're going to end up leaving anyways. So.
And in doing that, no, you are doing absolutely nothing wrong. And we back you 100%.
Scary stories around the campfire.
Welcome back to Scary Stories Around the Campfire. We're really practicing our Gaelic today. What was that?
I was scared.
Oh, watch this. That was a Gaelic.
Now I see what you were doing there.
I'm getting clever in my older age.
That was a Gaelic.
I'm 29, but as I record this, I'm still 28. Okay, so today's scary story starts off with, hey counselors, it's JP from episode 10 with the spooky pants story. Which one was the spooky pants story? Is it episode 10 of our original show or of Trail Mix?
No clue.
Spooky pants. I have to go back and listen to that to figure that out.
Pants. You guys, I'm sorry. Sometimes people will text me like things that we said, like quoted in an older episode, like my friends, and I have no idea what they're talking about. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Technically we have recorded like 99 episodes, including trail mixes. And after we're done recording, I forget what I said.
Well, I have no guilt. You know why?
Why?
Because JP has made the show twice.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that's a really exclusive crew. I think only maybe I can think of one other person, but I would say maybe 3 people have made it on twice.
Yeah. Fake adopted dog and spooky pants.
Yeah. So it's like you're in a really small circle here. So because this story, once again, you know how to write them in. So I have a fire ant story for you, and it's camp related, and it's the mid 90s for aesthetics.
Okay, I'm there.
I know. Camp, fire ants, 90s.
There's a boombox and it's playing Bewitched.
She's shooting on all cylinders.
Hey, 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 Okay.
So backstory, my mom's adopted, and her birth mother, my grandmother, was taking us to meet cousins I had never met before. Maybe they reconnected and now that she's meeting some of that extended family.
Okay.
But her cousin's parents worked at a camp in the summers, so we were going to meet them all there for the first time.
Okay, that's happening here at Camp Shady Bird.
Well, no, it wasn't, because it was in Southern California, where there's a huge fire ant population.
No, we avoid.
We got there and there's cabins all over, but it was in between camping sessions, so they were pretty much free to reign, like all the whole camp the entire time. Maybe it was like a weekly camp thing, and it was just like in between times. She had a wicked cool room in the biggest building, and there was like true 90s decor and summer camp crafts. We decided we needed to fulfill our best mermaid lives using the big pool, since we'd have it all to ourselves. Now, this camp has a lot of huge trees with leaves versus camps I've been to that had mostly pine trees. That's a key point. Okay, that's interesting, because campgrounds in the Northeast, it's giving pine. in Southern California, it's giving leaf.
And here we have a healthy combination of the two.
Really, I picture it more as a piney bunch.
We have a healthy combination of the two.
By the old pine.
Yeah.
Okay. We finally convinced our parents to let us
Camp
go.
Shady Birch.
Wait.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll shut my mouth. We finally convinced our parents to let us go swimming and let our mermaid dreams come true. Like, why are we always trying to play mermaid?
I know. It's like you get into a pool and you're like, what's your superpower? I could see your boobs under the water.
I'm always doing the Avatar thing where I'm like, air, water, earth, fire. I'm like doing the wishes. You didn't watch that show.
No.
We get to the pool and it's covered with these big brown leaves. My mom wanted to net the pool, but we had zero patience. We needed to activate mermaid mode and didn't care about the leaves. So we dive in and we're having a blast. My sister and my cousin are living in their mermaid glory and I'm having a dolphin moment. Like that part, when I read it, I was like, girl. She's like, I've changed. I'm having a dolphin moment now.
Yeah, she's like, you guys have fun over there with your superpowers. I have sonar.
So she breached the surface for air.
Obviously.
Yeah, as a dolphin would. And she comes up in a pile of leaves. No sooner did I feel the excruciating stinging pain at the back of my neck. I told my mom I think I got bit and she didn't really take me seriously. I keep swinging and I feel the stinging pain a few more times. What I didn't know happened was when I surfaced into the leaves, they had fire ants all over them.
No.
They had been in the trees, and when the leaves fell into the pool, they landed in the pool.
Okay, so it's a crisis.
So like if the mom had skimmed the leaves, they would have probably been okay, but they didn't care. They had to activate.
Yeah.
They're like, mermaid mode, activate. And the ants were like, come on, baby, come in.
Mermaid mode, activate.
Mermaid mode, activate. Dolphin breach. Dolphin breach.
Okay, so my question that I know you don't have the answer to, but I'm thinking, so I'm saying, as I do,
That's
fire
so
ants.
improv of you.
Thank you. Are they stinging or is it a bite?
We'll get there.
Are they protecting themselves or are they hungry for flesh?
Oh, I don't have that answer.
Is it a defense mechanism or a hobby?
Well, that kind of just went back to the second question, just reworded.
All questions.
No answers. And we don't want them.
Thank you.
It's funner to live a life of the possibilities.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless when you don't have a lot of answers.
This is how I found out that fire ants are hydrophobic, I think is the word, meaning they are basically like Jesus and can walk on water. So like I told that story in the podcast, that's how they move from place to place in Australia.
Yeah.
David Attenborough also confirmed that. So it's like if David Attenborough said it, that's all I need. Well, it's like funny because like we talked about that on the show. I've also talked about David Attenborough. It's funny how like our campers connect segments from like parts of the show and like weave them into like their own things. It's like, oh my God, you're pulling from like the show.
We're
fun.
constantly weaving this tapestry bigger.
Yeah, it could stretch over a nation at this point.
Could
it?
It could save us all.
I had semi-long hair back then, so they were all in my hair, and I even found one in my swimsuit.
Oh, God.
So once I got out of the pool, my mom finally saw the issue and realized I wasn't lying. But honestly, you were the kind of girl that was like, I'm going to be a mermaid. I'm going to be a dolphin. So she's like, when you're saying you're being bit, but then also squawking and breaching, it's like, mom's like, okay.
Yeah, were you really in character?
Do you want a Fruit Loop or like
Fruit roll up?
Fruit roll up?
Yeah.
Like maybe
it could have been one singular Fruit Loop.
Yeah, I don't know. So I can see how your mom was like, you probably had a wild imagination. All in all, I think I got bit/stung maybe 5 times.
Are they doing both?
So she's not sure.
I'm going to look it up really quickly.
My sister and my cousin never got bit to my recollection, but I am a survivor. Yes, you are, Camper. I will say if you've ever been stung by a bee, this might have been worse. So that's an interesting like sensation of a difference, like thinking about having like a bee sting, but like a little sharper. We ended the night with a game of Mall Madness, but It definitely wasn't easy sleeping that night with my bites. Sincerely, the Fire Ant Survivor and Cabin 14. I fucking love Mall Madness.
Me too. Max out that credit card. That and Pretty Pretty Princess. And wait, oh my
Play
God.
both.
What was that? The game that you saw that you hadn't heard of? Mystery Date. You hadn't played. You've never played it. It was like before my time, but my babysitter had it, so I played it.
That is so crazy that you said that because my babysitter brought over Mall Madness and I didn't have it.
Because it was before our time.
Yes, my sister. She's my sister. My sister's 9 years older than me, so that was her friend. So this was like my sister was born in the mid '80s.
It is crazy. They were like really trying to get young girls to max out a credit card. That was the game.
Yeah. Well, why is it girls? We
well,
played
us
it
too, obviously, but their target demographic. Let's say what they were targeting.
let's look who was on the box.
Let's say what they were targeting. Pretty princess. So I think we should get that and we should play that on like Patreon or something. I'm not making a promise right now, but after this, I'm considering going online and finding mystery date. I think that would be fun. That would be a fun Patreon video.
I know, but I thought we were gonna buy Mall Madness.
We can get both.
That would be
It doesn't have to
fun.
be one or the other, babe.
Let's look into that.
Okay, we'll look into it. So speaking of looking into, I did look into the symptoms and causes of fire ants and why they bite you. It typically occurs when somebody accidentally steps on the area, or in this case, swims in it. Contact with a fire ant nesting will prompt numerous ants to swarm and attack and bite the skin.
It's a bite. It's a bite. It wasn't a sting. It was a bite, but the bite felt kind of like a bee sting. What?
When a fire ant bites, it attaches its mandibles to your skin. Then it curves its back, sticks its stinger into your skin, and injects venom. Baby, it's biting and it's stinging.
Oh my God, a double-edged sword.
It can sting multiple times at once. How?
That's why they're so vicious, babe. It's like...
Yeah, it says first, okay, this is what happens. First, you'll experience a burning, stinging sensation. Within an hour, itchy bumps and welts develop. They're usually small and then they'll last for several hours. Blisters will develop after that. Very itchy. And then,
What?
it's graphic.
Say it.
Skip ahead if you don't want to hear this. After a day, blisters will fill with yellow and white pus fluid and will go away within 10 days.
Yeah, that's nightmare fuel for sure. Welcome back, Camper, if you skipped that.
Yeah, you missed a lot. Okay. Oh my God, it can send you into cardiac arrest.
Yep, that's happened. And
Sick.
stroke.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing our story. That's scary.
I know, but mermaid mode and dolphin breaching, it was just a really funny story. And it also was full circle with the Australian behavior episode. Do you have a story for us?
So I don't really know where this goes. But somebody wrote it. We're going to call it friendship bracelet because it's I don't want to make another segment, but I just wanted to share this and I just have no idea where it goes. I'm just going to share it.
Yeah, like the segment is called Friendship Bracelet. It's like it's women supporting women. It's giving Valentine's Day.
It's gays supporting it's gays supporting gays, straights supporting straights. It's people supporting people.
Yeah, it's community. It's the power of Taylor Swift. It's friendship at its core.
Yeah.
That's what the story's about. I love it. I want to hear it.
Okay. So, hi counselors. So the story doesn't fit into a category. I gasped when I saw Princess Squirrel, and I knew I had to tell you this story. But I'm a bit of a procrastinator, so it took a minute, but here we go. So, y'all, if you don't watch on YouTube, we have Princess Squirrel, who is our, she's in storage right now. Sadly, she is in a storage unit. Somebody left a comment, was like, let's talk about Princess Squirrel erasure. Separate from Princess Girl. She's the little squirrel. She's a Christmas decor.
Yeah, but we should have kept her out and taken off her scarf.
It was glued on there, baby.
It was glued?
It was glued. I tried to take it off with all my might. Okay, so we're talking about that. She was like a little, what would you say she was made out of? It's like
wicker and
yeah, almost like paper mache wicker.
No, it was like wood. It was twig. It was barley. Oh.
Everything we just said does not compute into
it was from
the same
Michael's. I don't
thing.
know what else to say about it.
Anyway, here, let's get into it. First, a little context. I've been listening to the pod since the beginning and got my best friend Sarah to start listening too. I did have permission to say this, so we do have permission for names, and there is a video that's going to be playing too. We love to watch videos together, giggling and kicking our little feet with each episode.
Yeah.
We stay kicking our feet.
I can't help it.
You should also know that I'm painfully single, so... So Sarah's my plus one for everything. We love that. There's nothing wrong with that. We love it. Now on to the story. This past June, we went to my college roommate's wedding in Michigan, Michigan's Upper Peninsula. I think that's the thumb.
I have no idea.
Which is about an 8-hour drive for us. After a long day of traveling, we arrived at our VRBO. Verbo, vacation rental by owner.
I've never stayed in a Verbo.
I stayed in with my friend, or I'm sorry, with my family, and they always called it VRBO, but I heard on an ad it's Verbo.
Yeah, it's definitely Verbo.
But it stands for what it stands for.
Yeah, but it's marketed as Verbo.
Right, but if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything.
Verbo stands for their name being Verbo.
Okay. So they end up, just like us in this moment, a little delirious at this Verbo and ready for some drinks. We've all had that. You've had a long drive.
Long
8
travel
hours.
day, whatever it may be.
You're just getting silly. You're hungry. And
You've gotten to your destination.
weird. So they're ready for some drinks. As we get settled in, that's when we saw her. A little wicker pig with a flower wreath around her neck. We talked about how cute she was as the night went on. Many White Claws later, Sarah and I cannot stop talking about the tiny wicker pig and insisted on taking a picture with her. This is so dumb and so us.
I am obsessed. Like, you find a little trinket and it becomes your entire personality. Like, that is Princess Girl, that is Princess Squirrel, the little wicker pig. It's like she's got a flower little necklace on. Like, she needs to be celebrated and supported.
And you're delirious after a long day and you're like, this is funny. This is our moment. We need a picture with this to make a memory. Many White Claws later, Sarah and I cannot stop talking about the tiny wicker pig and I insist on taking a picture. And we decide to name her Sasha. Photo attached.
Sasha, the little wicker pig.
At the end of the weekend, we're violently hungover and have to leave Sasha.
I love that you picked Sasha. It's like such a not a pig name, but like I saw the picture of the piggy and like that's Sasha.
It's giving Sasha.
That's Sasha behavior.
So we debated on taking her with us, but decided not to be bad guests and parted ways. And you did what you had to do because Sasha's going to make memories with others.
That's true. Very nice.
Over the next few months, Sasha became our running joke, and I made it my personal mission to find a replica of Sasha to give to Sarah for Christmas. Because if nothing else, I am always fully committed to the bit.
That is so us. Like, we will write jokes down from throughout the year and we'll make Christmas gifts out of them just as like little bits. Like, that is something we would totally do. That's a true camper.
Every few weeks, I found myself browsing the internet in search of the long lost Sasha with no luck. It finally came to the point where I almost messaged the Verbo host to ask where they had gotten this magical pig. They probably would have been like, I don't know. It was a hand-me-down.
Exactly.
Finally, I had almost given up all hope, but I did the impossible. I found her. I've never bought something on eBay so fast. And then I just had to wait for the arrival of our dear Sasha 2.0. Trying to keep my mouth shut to keep it a surprise was almost impossible to do. Finally, I was able to give Sarah the gift on Christmas morning, and I insisted on taking a video. So I'm going to put the video in here. If you're listening audio only, their chuckles are so funny.
Well, why don't you put like just a clip of the chuckles? Because I feel like it would definitely register as audio only too.
Oh my god, I'm like nervous now.
You're not gonna believe it.
I'm like so nervous.
You're never gonna guess.
Oh god, I'm so scared. Shut the fuck up! No, you didn't!
I found her.
How did you find her? Oh my god!
Fucking eBay.
This is the fucking best thing in the world!
It's Sasha.
But this is where Princess Squirrel comes in. Sasha was dressed in a cute little 4th of July bandana, but it wouldn't do for Christmas. So I fashioned her a holly necklace. That's cute. So it's basically, she's just customizing it to change. And that's like what, Princess Squirrel was. And it was made out of the same material, which is wicker pinata. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, wicker pinata. That's pretty good.
I hope you enjoyed this lengthy but silly story about friendship and our love for wicker animals. Peace and love. Laura, Sarah, and Sasha in Cabin 16.
That is truly what Camp Shady Birch is all about. It's about making a bit, committing to the bit, and celebrating friendship through jokes together. That's what our community is all about. We just share the same nonsense and we loop it all back together and we reference just bullshit. And I love that story. The video makes me laugh out loud when I watch it. The pig is absolutely adorable. It's just, what a great time.
The video, when someone just laughs and you have to laugh, like whether it's funny or not, like it just made me laugh. It made me chuckle. It made me kick my little feet, and I really enjoy it.
It's pure joy, the video. Like, you can tell it is like that at its core, like a genuine surprise and such a surprise and delight, as some would say.
It's giving piggies dipping at the piggy pond.
Oh my God. Dip it at the piggy pond.
All right, so that's all we've got for you guys in this episode.
What a lovely week here at camp. We'll be back on Wednesday and Monday and forever for you, because we love being your camp counselors. If you haven't yet, please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Write us a little review. Write into our segments at campcounselorspodcast.com or campcounselorspod@gmail.com.
Yeah, you guys know what to do. Thank you so much for listening.
We love you, besties. And with that being said, lights out, campers.